I called the president because I had some very good news from some new data that we've been able to put together that no one has ever seen before. I was telling the president that he did the right thing in calling for a new head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because this shows that over the last 2 years of the Biden administration, the BLS overestimated job creation by 1.5 million jobs. That's a, Mr. President, that's a gigantic error. And I don't know if she's, I'm not
making
making...
It might not have been an error, that's the bad part. If it was an error, it would be one thing. I don't think it's an error. I think they did it purposely.
Whether that, you may well be right, but even if it wasn't purposefully, it's incompetence.
Right.
Okay, that was President Trump with Steve Moore just moments ago at the White House on the Biden Labor Department overestimating job creation by 1.5 million jobs under Biden. That's a staggering error. Joining us now, Forbes Media Chair, Editor-in-Chief Steve Forbes. Steve, what's your take on this? There's a lot of bureaucratic problems with how the BLS is doing the jobs numbers. It uses snail mail, paper mail, the phone, not the internet, to talk to and survey businesses. So the response rate from businesses has dropped to less than 60% from an average 72% of the last decade. And when the numbers come in, then you get these whopping revisions.
Well, I think it goes to show they're still in the buggy and whip stage, whip and buggy stage, horse stage, in terms of statistical collections. It's been obvious for years that this agency's had major problems. Every year there's been major revisions, and it got really, really bad after the Biden administration, 1.5 million jobs. That's a scandal. And I'm glad the president's now pointed the finger at it. This has to be corrected, and there are ways to do it. Just take GDP. They do 4 revisions, and they announce the first number is not to be taken as gospel because they keep getting new information. So in the day and age of high tech, when you can get information overnight, the idea that they have to make adjustments 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 months later is preposterous. So let's get something that's workable, and I think that's now in train.
You know, let's move on to this. You know, the media is underreporting this. There's fear-mongering, doomsaying out there. There's a major game changer happening right now, Steve. The U.S. is on the leading edge of a manufacturing renaissance. I mean, construction spending on factories has more than tripled since 2020. The number of U.S. manufacturing plants and facilities popped 50% higher, 15% since 2017, to nearly 400 factories and plants nationwide. This is as higher tariffs go into effect on more than 60 nations. Can you explain why more manufacturing jobs and U.S. productivity will bring down inflation?
Well, the fact of the matter is manufacturing's on a comeback. The big thing is the president's deregulation. Manufacturing's been slaughtered by deregulation, costing a typical employee the equivalent of $25,000 a year versus $5,000 in taxes. No other country crippled their manufacturing the way we have. That's being corrected. And in the big, beautiful bill, Liz, which will be coming in effect in a few months as we get the numbers in, companies are discovering they're going to have literally hundreds of billions of dollars of extra cash flow, especially manufacturers, instant write-offs, not just on plant and equipment, but also on factories. You add it all up, what's being done in R&D, what's being done in instant expensing, and the way they trade interest rates, that's over $500 billion is going to be helping out the economy, especially manufacturing. So there's a lot of good stuff in the pipeline right now if we get the Federal Reserve to behave itself. And maybe, how about another second big, beautiful bill later this year? This stuff works. Get off the backs of businesses, especially manufacturers, and guess what happens? They start manufacturing.
In America. Make it in America, here in the U.S. I mean, you know, talking Detroit is talking aerospace and chips, Baltimore batteries. It's really fascinating. The Rust Belt could be brought back. Steve Forbes, you're wonderful. Thank you so much.